Jets will get the puck into the Kane zone right away. William Carey up for Martinook. Martinook whips it across for Staal into the Jet zone. Staal cuts, scores! What a start for the Carolina Hurricanes! And Jordan Staal just released a missile beating Comrie, and it's 1-0, 16 seconds in. Cross, Ehlers back, they score! On the power play! A beautiful pass, Nikolaj Ehlers, and Andrei Svechnikov buries it. Eastrom will get a stick to this, but that allows Connor to come up with it. Sent out across, Bussy! Oh dear, Bussy! Robbing Scheifele, what a save!
Hi, everyone. It's the Canes Corner Podcast. I am Adam Gold. Hope all is well in your world. And we are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it right there at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna's crew do a great job. You should check them out. Okay, let's get right to it on a Friday evening as the Hurricanes win at 4-3 over the Winnipeg Jets. They're now 2-0-1 on this 4-game road trip that will come to an end in Buffalo. Buffalo only put 9 on the board tonight in a win over the Blackhawks, 9-3, no joke. So that is not going to be easy. Don't know who's going to play in goal. Pyotr Kochetkov was not a scratch, because I think they knew this morning that Brandon Bussi was going to play. But I think going into the night, they assumed it would be Pyotr Kochetkov today, but something changed. Kochetkov went to the head coach and said, don't really feel good. So they went with Brandon Bussey. I think we all feel good now. So we don't know if Kochetkov's going to be able to play in Buffalo. I'm not sure it was going to be his game anyway. I actually thought that might be Bussey's game, and tonight would be Kochetkov. But it might set up beautifully for Kochetkov to come back against the Rangers, against whom he's been very good, on Thursday at Lenovo Center, the game before Halloween. I'm sorry, Wednesday at Lenovo Center, the game before Halloween. A lot of stuff I want to do here. And on a Friday night, I know you have other things to do. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com. You can check out the logo right there. But if you need anything for the exterior of your home, they're the people to take care of it. All right. Before we get into the game, let's start with something that didn't happen today. And something that didn't happen was Alexander Nikishin playing. Oh, the humanity. I knew it was going to happen. I know it. We all love Alexander Nikishin. He's going to be great. It's not yet great. But he's a rookie. He makes mistakes. And Alexander Nikishin being a healthy extra tonight is okay for Alexander Nikishin. And it is okay for the Carolina Hurricanes. You're playing the long game. He doesn't have to play every game. He ain't Brent Burns. So it was absolutely okay for Alexander Nikishin to sit this one out. And I'm not going to play the game of, well, we won the game. No, I get it. Mike Riley had a terrible mistake in the first period that ended up allowing a power play goal. I mean, you can't give the puck away there, but it happened. Just like Sebastian Aho gave the puck away in Minnesota. That happened too. So, bad turnover. And, of course, it's Riley because he stayed in the game in place of Nikishin. But, again, it's okay. I promise you he'll play in Buffalo. And all of the terrible thing to do when he needs a contract, he's not going to want to stay here. Y'all are nuts. Stop it. Stop it. Alexander Nikishin is going to play here for a long, long, long time. 24, he'll be 24. I think he'll turn 24 soon, right? Or maybe he just turned 24. I think he just turned 24. Yeah, October 2nd, I think he turned 24. He'll be here a long time. We don't have to worry about it. And to be perfectly honest, and again, I don't expect everybody to pick up on every nuance. I miss a lot of stuff too. That's why I read. Do you know who the worst rated player was in the game in Minnesota. The worst rated player in the game in Minnesota. You know the answer now. And when you play 62, 63 games a season in the KHL, isn't the league the NHL is. It's not as physical. It's not as fast. It's not as intense. It's not as demanding. Travel isn't quite as bad as the NHL. Again, a lot more games in this league. And the Hurricanes have played tonight game number 21 in what? 42, 43 days? Come on. It's completely understandable because I thought that he looked tired in Minnesota. And maybe the head coach thought that he looked tired. And he decided, you know what? Let's give the kid a rest. Let's give the kid the night off. Let him watch the game from the press box. It was okay. Alexander Nikishin's going to be fine. He'll come back in the lineup. He'll play well. And we may never see a healthy extra for number 21 again, ever. I knew how some of you were going to react. Rod never liked him. It cost us a game. All of that stuff. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the head coach wants to win every game. Pretty sure. I don't know. I'll ask him. On and the complaint that nobody asked Rod after the game because there's only Winnipeg reporters there. The Hurricanes do not have a traveling reporter other than Hannah Yates. That's it. That's the reporter who is on the game. And like they already it's not really a story to them. And it's only a story to the people who think, who were just mad that Nikishin didn't play. I want to watch him play too. All right, let's move on. I'm not going to belabor the point because it isn't that big a deal. It was never that big a deal. So let's talk about the big deal. Let's talk about the captain, Jordan Staal. And once again, showing you just how good the guy is. I do think that we are beyond the, how much longer is he going to be here stage. I think we're well beyond this, aren't we? He's got 4 goals in his last 4 games. He won 13 out of 24 faceoffs tonight. Played about 15 and a half minutes. He spent about half the night on the Scheifele line. By the way, a lot of credit goes to the other lines that had to deal with Scheifele, Connor, and Velarde. The Aho line got him a lot in the first period. And Stankoven, Blake, and Ehlers, that's who Scott Arniel wanted him against. And credit to Stankoven, Blake, and Ehlers because they did not get buried in the second period. As a matter of fact, that line was awfully quiet until the third. And then Scheifele had a bunch of chances. Scheifele ended up with 3 high danger chances, 6 scoring chances, 7 shots on goal, or 7 shot attempts. They weren't all on goal. But Mark Scheifele was noticeable in the third. And Brandon Bussey took it from there. I'll talk about Brandon Bussey in a moment. But Jordan Staal was once again great. First goal, that's like goal scorer goal. Getting the puck on a cross-ice diagonal pass from Martinook in transition, kind of deking outside, cutting inside, and letting just a wicked wrist shot go that beat Eric Comrie just inside the post to the far side. Staal was on the right when he released the shot. Real quick, Connor Hellebuck, 4 to 6 weeks out. So he wasn't going to play tonight. We knew it was going to be Eric Comrie. And for my money, that's bad for Carolina. Last time we saw Comrie, he was shutting Carolina out on 29 shots. And the last time we saw Hellebuck, Mark Jankowski and Logan Stankoven, their first game with Carolina, they were lighting Hellebuck on fire. Carolina's been really good against Hellebuck. I mean, arguably the best American goaltender, 4-6-0, 886 save percentage, like a 347 goals against in his career. So it was like not a good thing that Connor Hellebuck wasn't playing. But it's a good thing that Jordan Staal is playing, as that line continues every single night to own it. I mean, we're used to it. We see it all the time. So it doesn't surprise us, but I do think it surprises everybody else. Like, how do they do this? And by the way, on the second Jordan Staal goal, which was a really cool high slot, redirection of a Jalen Chatfield shot. It was a shot pass. He knew where Stahl's stick was. He was trying to do that. But on that play, full credit to William Carrier for the defensive play in the corner to the right of the goal that forces a turnover and reclaims possession for Carolina. And then ultimately, Miller gets the puck to Chatfield, and that's the shot pass that Staal deflects in. That tied the game. What was it? 3:08 into the second period. Staal scores at 16 seconds of the first, 3:08 of the second. And then Carolina's special teams goes to work. Look, they've already given up power play goal. It's a weird power play goal because it was just a blue line turnover by Riley that allowed the Jets in 2-on-1. And ultimately, believe it was Velarde who was in the penalty box before. I think it was Velarde who scored the goal. And, Carolina was trailing 2-1 after one when they got off to that great start. Of course, I thought Winnipeg was probably, although it was pretty close, I thought Winnipeg was the better team in the first period. And real quick, just as an aside, this was not a great offensive game for Carolina. It was a good possession game, but they didn't really generate a ton of scoring chances out of this one. In fact, I think the expected goals for the game was something like, I could tell you because it's in front of me, but expected goals for the game was not high for the Hurricanes. It was basically 2.5 each for the Canes. Canes scored 4. So obviously good play. It's not a high probability of a goal on the Staal deflection. The first shot, he wasn't like in real close. The Jarvis goal, that was always going to be a goal. And the Svechnikov goal was, 15, 20 feet out. But he had a lot of net, so it's a goal. But the Hurricanes were not like super dangerous. They were 40 times more dangerous in Minnesota. I mean, that's just not even close how much they scored 4 tonight. They should have scored 8 against the Wild. But with all that said, they did just a dynamite job. I want to talk about the return of Jalen Chatfield, who I thought was mostly good tonight. I don't think he played the 2-on-1 very well. He's going to have to ask his buddy Jacob Slavin, hey, when the other team's coming down to 2-on-1, do you usually stand up? And Jacob will go, no, dummy. Come on. Get down on the ice. At least get your stick on the ice. But Chatfield in the way and ended up costing himself a goal, costing the team a goal because it went off his skate and then right behind Bussy. And Brandon was like, come on, I could have handled that 2-on-1. Should have let the pass go across. Jalen. Anyway, Jalen didn't play it great, but he played very well tonight. And I love the pair of Miller and Chatfield. I think down the road, probably next year, it's going to be Nikishin and Chatfield. But for right now, it's Miller and Chatfield. And they were very good tonight. Not as good as Gostisbehere and Walker. Shane Gostisbehere continues to play at a super high level. But, Carolina's once again has an embarrassment of riches on the back end. And I guess this is where I will just mention that while it wasn't a great game for Joel Nyström tonight, he made some good plays tonight, but it wasn't a great game overall. He is an NHL player. And I kind of suspected this would be the case. We knew Chatfield was coming back. And ultimately, Riley's going to come out of the lineup. He didn't tonight, but he will. Nystrom's going to stay in until Slavin comes back. I think that's obvious to me. Rod Brindamore would prefer 3 lefties, 3 righties. Nystrom's a righty. Chatfield's a righty. Walker's a righty. So that's the preference anyway. But beyond the preference, more nights than not, Joel Nystrom is one of Carolina's better defensive players. Again, I didn't think tonight was a particularly great night. It certainly wasn't a bad night, but I don't think it was a great night. And Nystrom played, excuse me, as I duck out of the camera, 16, almost 17 minutes. I'll put glasses on so I can see better. Sorry about that. Yeah, 16:44. There you go. Did I just make myself look old? Yeah, so he played 16:44. He was playing with Mike Riley, by the way. But Nystrom he's just a good player. So he's going to stay in the lineup until Slavin comes back. And I can't wait to talk to Rod. Probably not Sunday, but this is something when I get a chance to talk to him maybe before the Ranger game, that I will simply ask him this, because I do think it's the case, that the way Nystrom has played just allows you more freedom to simply say to Jacob, take your time, man. Take your time. We need you, but we need all of you. And I said this when Slavin went down, and Rod thought that Slavin would, just miss a few games. And I said to him, and he completely dismissed what I said. I said, you don't need him now. I said, if he's out until, the Olympics, you're going to be fine. And what you really want is for Jacob Slavin to be Jacob Slavin for the stretch drive of the season, and then into April, May, and maybe June, because that's where you want him. A lot of people don't know that Jacob Slavin was significantly compromised physically in the playoffs last year. He was not the real Jacob Slavin. I talked to him about it because I could tell. Because he didn't have the lateral mobility that he normally does. When Jacob Slavin is right, he is among the best skaters in the entire league. He's not the fastest. He's just a great skater. He changes directions. You can't, it's so hard to shake him. He's an elite skater. But he wasn't at the end of last year. And they need that Jacob Slavin. In the interim, more often than not, Keandre Miller is playing that role. He had some great sticks tonight. His stick created the play that led to the Jarvis shorthanded goal. Dynamite play. I thought Miller played very well tonight. He was a serious contender for one of my stars, but he didn't get it. He didn't get defensive player. We gave that to Andrei Svechnikov. Really. Andrei played a good game. Really good game tonight. It's good to see. And honestly, most of Carolina played a good game tonight. And I'm not sure we're going to have time to get into it because we're already about 2/3 of the way through this. But the blue line is what an embarrassment of riches. And I think Charles Alexis Legault would have eventually gotten it. But right now, I can't imagine him even coming close to playing the way that Joel Nystrom's playing. All right, special teams tonight. For my money, the Carolina power play has been better. Nobody wants to hear it because they hadn't been scoring. And I get it. We are results-oriented, and they need to get results. So it's hard to feel really good about a power play that looks good, creates shots, creates chances, but doesn't score. But on the first power play in the first period, Jarvis had a one-timer from the left circle. Svechnikov had a one-timer from the right circle. Stankoven had an opportunity right out in front. Keandre Miller had a chance in the second unit. They all had good scoring chances. Didn't go. And I understand. Oh, the power play is terrible. I get it. They didn't score. But that wasn't a terrible power play. Second power play, same thing. I don't think it was as good. I thought the first power play was better than the second. When they win the faceoff, pretty good. And actually, I think their entries are getting better. Third power play scored. And it's been getting better. We are results-oriented. We need to see results on the power play. So, like, when they score right off a faceoff, I have a hard time saying, hey, the power play is getting better. Because it's really not a power play at that point. It's a faceoff play. And the other team just happens to have one less player on the ice. But the Hurricanes have scored like 4 of their power play goals. They now have 8. 4 of them directly off faceoffs. So I have a hard time saying, oh, the power play is getting better. These tonight for I don't know how many games in a row, but they finally did score after 3 games with nothing. They got 3 power plays. They all look good. The last one scored. It was a big goal, too. Obviously, it made the score 4-2. Carolina, it ends up being the game-winning goal from Andrei. The other part of that is the penalty kill. And I know they gave up a power play goal today, but that was a weird one. And I thought the penalty kill was good. And I think the penalty kill is coming around. Does it matter that you have Miller and you had him back for a while now? You get Chatfield back. Does that matter? Yes, it matters. And it will matter even more when Jacob Slavin comes back, whenever that is. Next item. I was flat out wrong about Brandon Bussey. Max, who is filling in for Victoria on the day job today, Max and I had a conversation about Brandon Bussey. I did not think it was a good idea for him to start. I didn't know why he was starting. I just thought, well, they're just giving Bussey a start because Rod's doing that. And I didn't like it because I'm like, I want to see if Kochetkov can stack some games together. Right? Played well in Boston. Played great against the Rangers. Was mediocre to poor the next 2 games. Then played really well in Boston. I want to see if he could put 2 good games together. Because Freddie Anderson hasn't been good. And maybe it's time to flip the priority and make Kochetkov the 1A and Anderson the 1B. Even though I don't think Rod really wants to do that. But Freddie's only played 3 good games out of 11. But Bussey started because Kochetkov couldn't. So that's a different dynamic. With that said, I'm still wrong because Bussey played well. 0 he could do about the 3 goals. Nothing. And with that, I liked the way he played. Sometimes, even when the goals are not your fault, you don't play them well. Nobody's faulting Frederik Andersen for the 3 goals that were let in regulation in Minnesota. Nobody's faulting him for those. It was a bad bounce, a lucky wild goal, deflection off the skate. It wasn't even supposed to be a shot. And 2 breakaways. Those aren't Freddie's fault, but he didn't play them. He didn't play the 2 breakaways well. And he didn't look really good or comfortable to me all night. So sometimes the goals don't have to be bad for you to play badly. And I think Freddie played badly, and he's played badly for the most part, just about all year. But Brandon Bussey tonight looked sharp to me. He did allow a couple of rebounds in the first 3 periods. But in the first 2 periods, he allowed some rebounds. but he didn't see a lot of really good scoring chances in the game. And the ones that he did see were goals. And again, he could do nothing about them. But if you watch the third period, he was pretty damn good. So credit to him for battling through whatever. Hadn't played since the Toronto game almost 2 weeks ago. I just think it was impressive. A very impressive performance for Brandon Bussey, who is now 5-1-0 in his NHL career. Goaltenders not named Frederik Andersen are 9-1 this year. There you go. Canes are now 7-1-2 in their last 10. It's pretty good. They have 30 points. They are atop the East. They are atop the Metro. Second best record in the NHL. Now process all of that. And now I'm going to give you 4 reasons why that shouldn't be the case. Keep in mind, 14, 5-2 on the season. Jacob Slavin has been out for 19 games. They didn't have Shane Gostisbehere for 9. Jalen Chatfield for 7. Keandre Miller for 6. Those are 4 pretty good defensemen right there. As a matter of fact, you could argue those are their 4 best defensemen. 19, 9, that's 28, 13, 31 man games missed on the back end. We just played the 21st game tonight. William Carrier and Eric Robinson each missed 6 games. Those are valuable pieces to the Carolina puzzle. Yes, Barry Kotkaniemi's been out the last 3. I'd love to see him come back. I want KK to say, Rod, I'm ready to go so we can get him back in the lineup. I like Mark Jankowski. Jankowski's a fine player, and he doesn't hurt. He helps Carolina. But I think, yes, Barry can give them a dimension that while Jankowski can score, I think Kotkaniemi is a higher-end player. And so Carolina would be better with him on the ice, especially when he is playing a smart brand of hockey. Being physical, north-south, the whole thing. We all know this. So all of those injuries, plus for the first almost a month, no Pyotr Kochetkov, which is where Brandon Bussey got most of his starts. All of those injuries, the Hurricanes do not have a top 40 offensive player on the team. Whoever you decide is Carolina's best player offensively, is it Aho? Is it Jarvis? Is it Svechnikov? Is it Ehlers? Is it Blake? Whoever it is, isn't a top 40 offensive player in the National Hockey League. It's 2 items. All the injuries, no offensive star. Below average goaltending, below league average goaltending so far this year. With Brandon Bussey's performance tonight notwithstanding, Carolina is a below average goaltending team in the NHL right now. And special teams, as we have talked about a lot, special teams has not performed. Over the last several years, if you combine Carolina's power play percentage and penalty kill percentage, in general, it has ranged between 105 and 110, 105 and 107 and 112, in that range. Anything over 100 is good. If your power play is at 20% and your penalty kill is at 80%, I think you're pretty happy. Anything over 100 is good. Carolina is consistently close to 110. This year, going into today, 92. So, the Hurricanes, all those injuries, no top 40 offensive player, below league average goaltending, worst special teams in the Rod Brindamore era, 14-5-2. How are they doing it? It's pretty impressive. And it leads me to this, and we're going to close on this. The Hurricanes have the best record in the East, and I'm not suggesting right now they're the best team in the East. I didn't say that. But right now they have the best record. They have not gotten out of third gear yet. There's another level. There's another level for Aho and Jarvis and Svechnikov. I think there's another level for Stankoven, Blake, and Ehlers. And they're going to get Jacob Slavin back at some point. And the penalty kill is going to go back where the penalty kill belongs. And I think the power play is showing signs that it's going to get better. It's never going to be an elite power play, but it doesn't have to. It's just got to give you a goal here and there. I think the Hurricanes are in a pretty good spot. Still have to worry about the goaltending, but we'll see. But I think they're in a pretty good spot. And cap space to address whatever issues they feel like they have to address. With all of that, it's time to say goodnight. I am Adam Gold. This has been the Canes Corner Podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hannon and his crew do a great job. Are we still friends, even though we disagree about Alexander Nikishin? I bet we are. We will see you guys next time after the Buffalo game on Sunday afternoon start, 1 o'clock. So like 4:30 or so. Until then, good night.